There are no such things as mistakes in life, only happy little accidents. The Happy Painter, otherwise known as Bob Ross, was a painter that created a famous TV show known as The Joy of Painting. You may know Bob Ross for his hair and calming tone of voice, but many found him to be very comforting in general to just watch him paint. Bob Ross was one of the public television's favorite painters. Bob's positivity really brought people from many hobbies and backgrounds into his PBS show to discover the joy of painting. He had a technique that he would calmingly explain while telling life stories of his nature and family experiences. With phrases like happy little trees that were crowned famous and references to natural objects being lifelike, he would even use personification to give life to objects he was creating with the brush. He was essentially an entertainer more so than a painter. People would love the fact that he was genuine and always used a calm tone. The iconic hair was not always there. Bob actually got his hair permed in order to save money. He had a hard time getting his career to where he was actually earning good money. He eventually grew to hate his hair and wanted to change it, but it kind of gave a trademark to him. And you know what I mean? It was eventually even a logo that was created, and so he became to accept it, and he liked it from a business standpoint. At age 18, before Bob got his whole art career started, he actually joined the Air Force. He was born and raised in Florida, and he never saw snow until he was age 21. And the Air Force moved him up to Alaska, to where he had to do technical work, where he pursued the passion of painting. And the mountains, the whole scenery up there, and the rivers, and just the beautiful backdrop from Alaska stuck with him. And you can see that in his paintings to this day. The mountain landscapes would have a lasting effect on Bob Ross's work. While staying in Alaska, Bob Ross was actually a part-time bartender. He was in the bar one day whenever he saw a TV show come on called The Magic of Oil Painting. It was hosted by a German oil painter called Bill Alexander. And it really sparked interest with Bob. And later he figured out that he could make more money selling his artwork than he could working at the bar. He really jump-started this career by selling these gold pens that he would paint mountain scenes and different nature themes on. Even though Bob Ross eventually ended up making a $15 million company, he was not a wealthy kid. Bob's family was very kind of poor, and he said that as a kid he really didn't do good in school either. He said that his teachers would basically grade his paper like he did his backgrounds. He does like an X stroke to do his backgrounds really quick, and he says that that's the way his teachers would always grade his papers. And he promised his mom one day, whenever he would get these bad grades and stuff, he promised his mom that one day he would be successful no matter what, and that he wanted to paint. So she gave him $1,000, and he set out to teach people how to paint. He moved to Florida and met his business partner, Annette Kowalski, that would later help him get the ball rolling with his career. Bob would always use this wet-on-wet technique whenever he did his work, and it kind of stuck with him throughout the years. And whenever he'd have a break in the military or at his bar job or whatever, just a quick break, he could go and he could do a full painting in 20 minutes or so because of this technique he would use, and it was called alla prima. The technique really allows for the ability to create shadows and reflections easier than on a dry surface. The technique, however, was not original to Bob, and there is works that use alla prima that date all the way back to the 16th century. Bob really had a lasting impact on everyone that watched him. Whether you painted along, whether you tuned in to relax at the end of the day, whatever it may be, Bob really inspired people, and he inspires people to this day not to get tied up on the stresses of life, and that happy little accidents are sometimes okay.